Okay. Okay, guys. So we're gonna do Paint Coach Paint Week 2025. And I have Maria's photo here on my phone. So I'm just gonna use the photo. And let me watch my stream first. Let's check going on. So I'm basically using paper first. I don't want to draw sketch on the canvas. So what we usually do is first draw on the paper and then just transfer it later once you're satisfied. So right now I'm just gonna use paper for it. Okay, and there are different methods to working with freehand work, and some use the straight line, right? Some use the outside in, like finding angles. For me, I'm used to starting from the eye. So I work by picking the dominant eye and the points here, right? I'm gonna find this first, but first, of course, I'm gonna estimate, right? How far this eye should be in the face, right there. But I'm not gonna mark it as final. So I first start with the edge of the eye and then find the other edges and then find the angle to the mouth, because the mouth is straight down to the eyes, right? And the nose is gonna be this line. There's a line here that usually just hits the nose. Depends on the person, of course. And then I'm just gonna use all of that to first find my bearing on the canvas, on the paper. Okay, so the important thing first is to find your bearing. And what I do usually when I work on stuff like this is I don't expect too much. But I want to achieve more. I want to achieve more, but I don't expect much. Like, for example, excuse me, I don't want to get it right the first time. Like, I don't expect to get it right the first time. Always going to be room for adjustment, because, freehand, it's unless if you have a unique type of brain, like a good memory or stuff, normal humans, we don't have. So we're gonna have to use tools, right? So that's why I'm gonna utilize angles, and I'm gonna have to start from a point that I can be comfortable in. And usually I start with the eye, with the dominant eye. Right, so let's just arbitrarily place something here, right? I'm using a 6B, a 4B. I used to, when I'm drawing for myself, I'm just gonna use 2B pencil or 8B. I'm drinking coffee right now. Excuse the noise. So what I do basically is find that point, right? And just decide how big my eye should be, right? How big her eye should be. Let's say it's going to be this big, right? I think this is going to be too big, because based on that, it's going to be a cube, right? It's gonna be too big. So let's maybe make that smaller, actually, because this area, this eye, especially this reference from Chris, is very easy to work with, because it's just equal spaces here, and I think this is too small. Yeah, this face is gonna get too small here. Yeah, it's too small. So let's just go back to that and see where we can end up. I think it's too small anyway, so do this. Yeah, and this would be the other eye here. Yeah, it's still going to be too small though. Mm. From here we have a straight angle. And the angle from the edge of her eye here to the edge of the nose here is almost at 50 degree. So 45 would be like this, 50 would be like this. So it would be, should go like this, right? So that's where the edge of the nose should be. Okay. And now for the edge of the eye to the mouth is a little bit off from the edge of the nose here, like this angle. Basically, it's the same angle from her eye. But this is just from the photo, okay? Then from her eye here, it's the same angle going down here. That's why she looks pretty, because of all these same angles that are here. That I think this is too. Need to make it more steep, a little bit steeper. I think this is going to be too small though. It's gonna be too small. Her chin is gonna be here. Let's just see where we can go from here. From her other eye, it goes here. A little bit angled from her inside of the eye. The outside of the nose here, it's a little bit angled. So let's add that angle there. There. Then the edge of her mouth to the edge here. Slight slope like this. Oops, my phone that turned off. Let me change the setting first. Change the setting. It doesn't like turn off immediately. Lock screen? Is it lock screen? Sleep. 10 minutes. Right, so we have 10 minutes. Okay. So this way, it doesn't matter how big your reference is, because you're just gonna base everything on angles, right? Distances, I think this is too far compared to this mouth area. These points, the points here are almost half, should be almost half. I have to lower this a little bit. It's almost half of the face here. From the point of the nose edge to the edge of the mouth here is almost half. So we're just gonna get that half. Place it here. So her face is a little bit slanted away from the camera. So now I have all of these lines here, points. Now I can work, right? I know work now. So before that, before doing some weird stuff, let's find the distance over eye here. The width of the eye. So usually compared to the nose, it's almost the same, the circle of the nose. So if the nose is, her nose is almost here, almost 2/3, 1/3 of that length. So we're just gonna use that now as a space here. And her eye is a little bit over there and higher here. So this is not the opening of the eye, okay? It's the eye socket. I'm looking for that. Gonna find certain points here. Nothing has to be perfect, nothing has to be permanent. Nothing is tentative. So let's find where the iris is. Is it centered between the points, the edges, or is it slightly off? Slightly off, about here. Her iris here. We're looking for the iris so we can find the height, the highest point of her eyeball here, so that we can then estimate by angling. We can still find angles from here. So we can angle, this is almost 45 degrees to the edge here. Almost like a pie here. Goes like that. The pie. I think it's too much. So once we go here, eyes are gonna drop here on angle. Here it's gonna drop like that. Let me check if I got this correctly, or if I was just hit the wrong spot there. So now for the thickness of the eyelid. Almost half here. From the line here, it's half, somewhere here. And the angle of the curve would be like, I think this is too small. Just keep going, as we can do it again later on. So some people just use boxes and stuff, like horizontal lines and stuff, just to mark things first, but we're doing it as we go along, right? So we don't have to keep it as a box. You can actually start marking, since this is her eyelids here, iris. Eye is actually from here, from the edges here, from the corners of that pie that we made, actually a little bit rounder towards that. A little bit almost below here, just a little bit. And the sphere is a little bit sphere of the eye is here, almost like that, right? Our eye should be looking not at us, but that's okay. We can work with that later on. Be off the line here. It should be thicker here. I like to place whatever you find that's kind of catches your eye, that you think can help you move forward. Just mark that down. Here. Doesn't matter. Like I said, size of your reference doesn't matter. You can always work. Just that you don't want it to be too small so you don't see certain things, and you don't want it to be too big so that such that you can't see angles. So remember, the eye is a ball. So whatever this is, right, this sphere here, is actually inside there, the eye. So our eye bags should be around here. The eye should be inside here, like this ball here, right? This eyeball there. That's also one way to correct it. Yeah. Now I can simply add the eye bags here. And I keep in mind that you'll have more to go. I think that eye looks kind of like her eye. Just there's something missing about it. Sometimes I don't want to move forward. You know, it's better to start again if you think you've made a mistake. The little things, and to keep going and then just building up on that mistake. You know, my process kind of something that I've learned. It's just natural. It's not naturally came to me, so it's not something I had to force into me. It's just something that I do ever since I was young. When I was copying comic book characters, I was working in 3D. Everything is just natural. So you know, when you're trying out a technique and it doesn't work for you, just try another one, or just just give up and just keep drawing. You know, give up the techniques and just draw it. Just look for a way to achieve. You don't have to look for a way to achieve something. Just try to achieve it, and then eventually the pattern, the way, is gonna show itself to you, and that is your way of achieving something. So sometimes the mistake here is going to be here. The eyes are going to be a little bit too small, but we're just gonna hold on to that for now. Gonna keep going. Let's see if I have correct measurement here. Okay. I think the other eye is too small. compared to my eye here. No, I think that's about correct. So we're gonna do the same, but her her other eye is different, shaped differently. But usually the angle of the left eye, of the other eye, and the other eye is usually the same. So if the crescent here goes like this, usually the crescent here goes similar. It's similar. So knowing that, we can actually just follow through with that. Look for the height here, and then find her iris again. Is her iris in the middle? It's almost off because this area here where her eye is more shadow, so it's all still off a little bit right here. Kind of looks weird, but let's just keep going. Eye here, so it's the same thing. Curvature here. Height here is almost the same. To be careful with that. Angle here. This up. Curves a little. As she keeps higher going here, it kind of gets more higher here towards that area there. Kind of like a wide angle here. It goes there. And then from here, drops kind of, it's almost up right there. So now, sometimes it's confusing to look at angles and curves both at the same time. So just keep in mind that the angle is a priority, then the curve is secondary. So it's the next step. Then her eye here, still the same. It's the same height there. Just gonna follow that angle. Same way. Iris is here. That's right. Spear is here. The angle is here. The edge is here. Everything is folds there, but then it curves. There's a shadow there. So it follows here, edge here. So it's going to be lower there. Off here. Same. No, I think we've lifted up a little bit. Has to have to be below the eye there. Go down lower a little here. Okay, don't have to be fast. Have to be quick. Important thing is you're enjoying the process and you're moving at the right direction. Speed, it's not necessary. It's not a race. Sometimes people think that you need speed for everything. And like I said before, speed is, to me, is something crazy thing. I don't stop that. I think it's so much better to do things right, slow, steady, and something that you're enjoying while you're doing it. The faster I go, the more mistakes I'm gonna make. And the more mistakes exist there, they're gonna be compound on each other and everything's gonna just wasted anyway. And not just, take one step at a time, one stroke at a time. These are just reflections of your eye. Angle over eye here is a little bit different compared to here. And I think this eye is a little bit not the same as her other eye. It looks a little bit bigger, and it's normal for humans. And we can correct that, or we could just leave it be and then just accept it as a camera glitch or something. You can see the spaces that I'm leaving behind here. I'm gonna use this to correct stuff and check stuff like the shadow here. Correct, because this one has a very dominant shadow area here. Most of it here is under the shadow. I use that to my advantage. So, not too sure about this because we started with the eye here, right? Then kind of went a ways here. Let me check the angles. Actually, her face is simple. Should not be too hard. Reworking on Filipino faces or small people faces, it's gonna be harder because there's gonna be a lot more inconsistencies in the face, and the angles would be different. Let me check. Is the eye big? The same? The eyeballs? Are they the same? Let me see. Same eyeballs. Let me check her eye here. Photo. Almost bigger, but I think I'm exaggerating the size here a little bit. Smaller. Feel inward, outward. Sparkle here. You can also use the shine of the eye. Sometimes that's useful. Find the shine of the eye and just use that as a reference point. I don't want to make this too thick because this is not actually something that's visible in the image. And to help you with lightness, you wanna keep that to a minimum, like adding too much lines that are not there. Better to just things. Falls off a little bit here, and the shadow is here. Face is somewhat like that. Okay, so this part here is shadow. Okay, now we have the eyes. We can start with the nose, but I'm gonna take a little bit of a break here just to rest my back a little bit. Back problems and stuff. And while I chew on some food here, I'm gonna try to see do a little bit more. This eye is looking at us. Should be aligned here. The edge of this mouth. A little bit here. So she's not looking at us. Chewing on some sandwich right now. It's really nice to just, relax and just do some art. Here, the lines that I was drawing are actually the hard edges. Or the contact points, right? From two different things, like for example, the eyeball and the eyelid. So the contact points, I drew that. Then now I just added the little bit of the darks there. Basically the form. This one, a little bit of shadow here. The shadow is really very important. It kind of defines the form of the face. And if you don't have that correct, even if you have the correct shape, like the drawing, and then the shading is wrong, it's not gonna look right. Okay. So let me consider the eye. Close. Draw this further out. I think we should go here because that's our point there. I don't want to cheat myself. Every angle here. Okay. So I think her face is gonna be this big. I think that's fine. Just zoom in the camera a little bit so you can see it better. Then hello. Focus. Lift this up a little bit. I can't put it closer like this because it's gonna interfere my brain. Gonna be able to do it correctly, and then you guys are just gonna say time. Okay, so next we already have the points of the nose, right? We already have it. So what we're gonna do, I can actually just, by using the light here, make this difference. Look at this space here in the eyes. I can actually use that to draw here. I'm just gonna do that now. I'm gonna use that space. It's basically the same as this here. Eyeball here. Just gonna use that space here now. Do here to draw it here. Draw a line. The point here. Angled this way actually. Okay. And then from that, you can actually see if it works with this drawing that I have here. Supposed to go that way. Shadow. I think that's too far. So I'm gonna bring it closer. Bring it closer and then just widen this a little bit here. Closer here. Do an angle here. Two angles here that's going like this. There's an angle that goes like this. It's actually three angles here. Just gonna correct this a little bit. Add the shadow here. I didn't add the shadow for that. I'll just add it. This here is just her bones here. Eye socket bone goes down here. Okay. Now the angle of that to her eye is somewhere here. That's supposed to be correct. But I'm finding it hard to connect to here. Either my angle there is wrong or my angle here is wrong. Just see, stretch this here actually. 45-degree angle here, or eye. The middle there. Not too obvious, but it's there. Then space of this eyelid is actually the space of the edge of her eyebrow. I'm just gonna use that now. Edge here, her eyebrow here. That angle is actually a little bit, just a small angle, 5 degree maybe. I'm a little bit too insecure about that line, so I'll correct that. Make it more certain. Lower it a little bit here. This should be shadowed here. Here should be in shadow. Here, actually. This shape. Actually a shape here. Makes her way down here. Goes up like this. One line here. I don't think this is gonna work for live models because this is taking too long for live models, but I'm not sure. I haven't done that at all. You know, her eye here should be aligned with the tip. Her eyebrows here, that's a little bit raised like that. So eyebrows actually from here, from the middle here. Is it from the middle? No, actually it's off a little bit from the side right here. So from here, it's actually it actually curves like this. How thick is that? It's almost the same as her eyelid, so not that thick. Really curving here. That. Then there's another slight curve here that follows here to a point. That, like that, and then this eyebrow pulls Now this I can now actually correct this, open that up. Now check if the angle is correct. Not correct. Mine is too steep. I have to widen that base here a little bit. Now I can actually curve this following this. Again, slight depth here that goes here. Just a small shape that she has there. And this should like extend further here. And then this should align here. Align here. It looking correct. Eyes are kind of like this. Thin point here. Around like this. Okay. Mark this point of interest, and let's check where that is. It's gonna check the angle if it's correct. 45 here. Higher, a little bit higher. A point higher, right? There. Want to keep those things like where they should be, because we're building from these points that we're making. Black off, and, everything's gonna go wrong. And it's actually here, looks like. And then this eye here. Separate here from our actual eye that's here, down here. Okay. Clear that up a little bit here. Pull it down because the photo is a little bit stretched. Eyes is actually a little bit stretched. I don't know if this face has been stretched. Kinda looks like it. Mark that there. think it is a little bit stretched. I don't want to put too much there. Confusing. It's just a feeling of straight here, straight line here. It goes there. How it is. Correct that to go. But right now, I think we're on the right track. I think we're on the right track here. Darken this a little bit. Okay. So now that we have that, I can actually start focus on this first. This is basically the edge of our nose here. Looking at that, yeah. So given this is the edge, should be that the point of the tip should be right here. Now I'm gonna look for sizes that's the same with this, or what I already have. And I think that's the nose, her nose here. The bulk of the nose here. Actually the same as this eye. Almost. So that I know where create this curve here. This another like kind of curve that's on here. You can actually see it if you think about it. It's there. Part of going to be part of the nose that's already here. This edge here. And then basically the nose that's here. Now the angle to the center the tip of the nose here to this compared to this. The angle here, this angle is actually the same as here, so we're gonna have this angle that goes here, drops down to there. Have this angle that goes. There's the point there we can play around with. We can play in this. The edge here of the nose is actually going straight to here. And just cut through that right there. This actually following this line goes there. Actually, it's here above. It should cut, able to cut it from here. Give us her nose. And we can curve this down here. Shadow. Nose would actually curl down in here. Create this black here. This. We're gonna have like a teardrop shape here. Fades out. Oops. There. Then we can start building some of this space. It's actually half. Really in shadow, so I can't see it right now. Okay, that's the nose. Then from here, the point here that goes like that. An angle here that goes like that. And both of these are going to intersect like this. So this angle angled into the nose there, to the center. Then opens up to the edge here. That's the angle. Gonna come down here at that angle. Now from here we can start drawing nose. It nose. It uh, turn towards the side. Nose. Ball here. A little bit angled inward here. Go there. Angle correct. Yeah. And a curve here. Another arc here. Actually a half sphere. Which then from here an angle then from this edge to here higher. It should be higher. From that, this is actually from this edge here a halfway point from here to where the shine is. And that's going to follow the nose down. Okay, so that's going. Then shading here. Actually, open up a little bit around here. This point. Angle should be here. Point is going to move towards here. Okay. Your nose kind of looks a little bit fat right now, but I'm not committing to that because sometimes the shadow changes everything. Like I said, once we add the shadows here, it curves into main nose here. Gonna change everything. Clean this up a little bit. Pull this up here, just nose, and it's a long nose. Fix the shadow here. We don't wanna conflicted. So you can see that this area of the nose is a little bit too complicated. And so I'll just simplify it a little bit for now. And just rely on my knowledge of anatomy. My brain is getting confused. He wants to see perfect nose, and this nose is not perfect. So used to drawing noses like such a way that, you know, sometimes actually bothers us if we try to draw something. So having an issue here because this should be correct here. Be correct. Let's see. Okay, post down there. No, I think I'm confusing the shadow. For the actual tip of the nose. Sure what's going on here actually, but I'll just copy the shadow instead because I don't know what's going on beneath there. I can see some changes in values. Really not sure what's going on there because it's too dark. Everything there is here is too dark, so I'm just gonna, whatever I see, I'm just gonna mark it down reference. Use that for later reference. I can't tell where's the form and where's the shadow. Phone actually exists here, so you can watch out for that. This stands up. Your eye here is actually level 2. The angle here should actually go. There's actually an angle there that goes like that. Then angled here. Oh, that's not the angle, it's wider. Here. Likely here. Actually leveled here. Here. Pops off. Go there. Curve it down here. I think that's the distance here is too far. So bring that closer. Base it on here. So it's almost on. Same size should be here. Curve. Shadow here. Part of the shade that's going here. Should curve down here, which is correct. But then it just doesn't just curve there, it flows away there. Halfway point now comes part of the skull. The Y here. The skull, there's a Y here. There's a curve that goes from here. What's here, which then curve. Yeah, it curves a little bit here. Too wide, I guess. Let's just let me clarify this area a little bit. Angle here should be weight of the curve. Really curves like this. Then there's a kind of straight looking shape here. A little bit steep, higher, and then the curve here is a little bit steep. Comes. Okay. This. Let's bring this closer now. That's the line. There. We don't actually become too much of a factor. This and follow. Yep, I think I'm gonna need to take a break because my back is kind of killing me, and I just want to rush everything. I don't want to rush anything. So for now, this is what we get. You know, I think we're on to something here. Do some rechecks. Fix the zoom first. Nope. Oh no. I'm gonna have to check this later. After a few minutes, I'm gonna come back. My wire can't reach this webcam wire. Can't reach this far, so I'll just have to. Yeah, I think so far so good. It's just the nose seem a little small, but you know. The camera, it's a little weird. Mostly we got it. Cockroach here. Things with its nature. If you like nature, if you're a vegan or something, if you want to experience nature, living amongst nature, Philippines provinces is your best bet. Okay, so far so good. Satisfied. Process. Happy. Can't bring it closer. Got it. That I think the eyes are looking too far off to the side. I'll see what I can do with that. Move the eyes a little bit. Her eyes here. A little bit. Fall a little bit here. Okay, I think that's correct. This is what classical do. Yeah, you have to draw on the paper first. Transfer it charcoal or carbon paper. because you don't want to ruin your canvas. No, it is. Sometimes canvas can be too rough. Or find editing work like this. I mean, it's 1 hour and 25 minutes. Oh, the camera is right in front of me. Little adjustments here and there. Make it right. Right now, deal with it later. Size of your reference should be something that's comfortable. You shouldn't be a strict rule about that. Sometimes it's useful to use 1:1 ratio. But for freehand, for me, I like it small first, then go bigger next time when I go into the detail. Details can overwhelm your brain. Looking for the angles first. Help you. I don't want the details to occupy brain power. I think I got the smile, the slight smile of her eyes. Need to some of the shadows here later. There. Like a round shape here that you can notice. Goes from here that connects to here. Curve here. Okay. Kinda has an angle that goes like here. Rounds out. I from the photo there, the screen kind of rounds out, but you still have to build the faces here. So far, so good. Satisfying and fun. Yeah. Right, I'll just continue this next time. Catch my back or something. So I'll see you next time.